everyone. I'm Julia, Customer Success Agent at UXPressia, and I'm happy to see you today. I hope you are ready to learn our features, the ones that we prepared for you, and see how they can benefit your mapping process. Without further ado, let's see what's on our plate today. And that is Jira integration, document ownership and statuses, and importing of Jira maps to UXPressia. The very first thing I'd like to share with you is the integration with Jira. Basically, our team has added a new section that allows you to pull the Jira issues right into your customer Jira maps. And this will help you to track experience improvements, as well as see the full picture of what needs to be done and who is responsible for that. To add the issues, Jira issues to your map, now you need to connect your account first. So let me show you how to do that. I will add the section first. In my section menu, I had to media and files category and find this Jira issues section. Once you add this section to your Journey map, you'll be prompted to the login page in your Atlassian account on your Jira account. So I'm going to log in right now. Okay. And I confirm and accept the login in, and great. So now the Jira account is connected, which means that me and other contributors in this same workspace will be able to reuse this integration in any projects. So now we can actually start adding those issues. I will add one issue here. So under this stage, also a couple of issues in this stage. You can add multiple issues within the stage. There is no limit in terms of how many you can add. And once you added the issues, this will actually helps you to connect those stages of your journey map with the actual tasks assigned to your team. And this will make the map more actionable. So now let's see, what do we actually have in those Jira issue here. We see the issue key in Jira, the description of the issue right here, the status and the priority, and the assignee. If you'd like to get a closer look at this issue, you can just click on it and you'll be prompted to the original issue page in Jira, where you can read a little bit more and get acquainted with the details. So that is it regarding the Jira integration. And this is really a convenient way to track all the tasks related to your customer journey, to have them in one place and track their progress. Now we can move to the next update that we prepared for you, and it is related to document settings. I'm speaking about ownership and statuses. So in journey mapping, the responsibility can easily get blurred. For example, you might be the person who created the document, but are you the one who should keep it updated, who owns it, let's say, who should be responsible for all the changes of this document, who should track, for example, certain metrics related to the document, and so on. In many cases, the person who created and the person who owns it are different people. So from now on, you can explicitly assign the owner of the specific document so that you and your team have clear understanding of whom to contact in case of questions, for example, so that everyone knows that who is responsible for this or that document, and so on. You can manage those settings in the project folder, this project dashboard. By default, the system assigns the person who created the document as its owner as well, but you can always change these settings in the document settings window right here. So I will remove myself from the owner and assign Yulia and Katerina. So you can actually assign multiple owners to the map, and I confirm the changes, and now we can see that the owner of this map changed. Same thing happens with statuses. This is something that actually allows you to understand at which point this or that document is at the moment. For example, is it a validated map, or it's a draft waiting for review, or maybe it's an archive document that you just stored in this folder. So with this, to understand this without opening every single file and getting acquainted with the info inside, you can just mark the status of the document. And that is easy to do in the same settings of the document. In the document settings, we have the status field and some pre-filled default statuses that we've added already, like kickoff, mapping, ideation, and so on. But you can always configure those statuses to yourself. If you open up this Jira button, it will allow you to add new statuses, name it, for example, on hold, add an icon, for example, pink, and save the status so that you and your team members can reuse it later on the project dashboard. So that is pretty much it regarding the documents. However, I would like also to, this is not the only place where you can manage those document settings at UXPressia. You can always do this from the project, from the workspace dashboard, specifically from the design view. So for those of you who don't know our design view feature, this is an overview of all the mapping initiatives that you have in your organization. You can switch to the design view from the workspace dashboard right here. And here I'd like to note that the design view is an enterprise feature that is available on the enterprise plans. So right now, as you can see, my design view looks this way, and I added some maps to the design view, and you can also manage those statuses and even filter this view by the statuses. For example, here you can change the status of the map and its owner as well. And if you'd like to focus your attention just on the maps that, for example, are on the mapping stage at the moment, you can hide all other statuses from here and see just the maps on the mapping with the mapping status. So yeah, that is how the document and document settings, document ownership and statuses work. We can now move to the last feature for today, which is import of journey maps to UXPressia. I actually prepared the folder for this purpose. So from now on, no more manual reconstructions of the journeys you've built in other tools. You can actually upload your work to UXPressia in 3 simple ways. How to do that? So in the project folder, you just click Add New and go to the Import tab. Right here, we have 3 options available. Upload your file in the Excel or CSV format, paste the data in bulk right to UXPressia, or connect your Google account if you use Google Sheets, for example, for your to build and store your customer journeys. You can connect your Google account here, and we'll be able to upload any document from the account. So let me show you how to actually do this. I have a map in the Excel format. Let me show you this. So this map is in the Excel format, and before I go and import it to UXPressia, I would like to be sure that it fits into the UXPressia frame. So it means it has these stages horizontally, and these sections. So this map fits into this frame, but even if your map does not fully fits into the UXPressia frame, it's totally fine. You can still upload the file and then just make slight amendments after the document is imported. In any case, it will be easier rather than just copying and pasting every single cell from your file to UXPressia. So now let's go and import this file. I'm selecting Excel or CSV and uploading this file here. So the very first step that you'll see once you upload the file is asks you to indicate the stages of your document and like which rows and columns states for stages and for sections in your document. For example, in my document, the first row states for these stages, and as we can see, it's row 1. And speaking of the sections, we have the A column, and exactly what we see here. Great. So now we can move to the next step. And this is the preview of your map. So what your map will look like after you import it to UXPressia. Here you can also make some amendments, let's say. For example, you can change the section type of some sections if needed, from the text-based ones to the specific types of sections. For example, I would like to change the process section into the process one. This will allow me to add those process lines, those arrows to specify the type of the process used at each stage of the journey. Also, in the quote section, I can use the dedicated think and feel one that will add these nice quotation marks and just will make the map more visually appealing. So once you specify the type of this section here, you can also apply the color theme to your stages. So right here, as you can see, we have those themes listed. I would like to select this one. Nice. And that's it. So I can import, I'm ready to import the file. Again, the document settings window pops up. I'll skip this form. Now you already know how to assign status and owners later. So right here is our map. Basically, the fruits of our efforts are in front of us. We see this quote section with quotation marks. The process section has this option to add those arrows to define, to specify the type of the process. It will be displayed on the background. And basically all the content seems to be imported fine and accurately. So yeah, that is it. That's a very convenient way to upload your work to UXPressia. Another thing that you can use, as I said, you can not just import the type of file like XLXS, but also paste the data. I would like to show you how to do this as well. So right here in the import tab, we select paste data, and you'll see this empty window where you are expected to paste the table data from your file. I'll use the same file for that, just will show you what is the principle. So right now I will highlight all the, this table, copy it just by clicking Ctrl+C and pasting it right here into this window. You'll see this checkbox next to the first row contains journey stages titles field, and it's true. We can see in the first row the journey stages, awareness, research, invitation. You can also select the delimiter. In this case, auto delimiter will work. And we proceed to the next step, which is actually the preview. As I said, even if the content is not imported exactly like in your file, for example, as you can see here, the section names were placed in the first, in the stage, under the stage columns, not in the section names themselves, but it's totally fine. It just requires, as I said, slight amendments. And again, this will be much easier rather than copying and pasting this all from scratch. And yeah, here it is, the imported map. Yeah, so that is pretty much it regarding the new features. I think we can proceed to the questions and answers part if you have any. So Veronica, please.
Julia, thank you so much for the presentation. We actually do have one question. And while I'll be actually asking you the question, feel free to type your questions to the chat so that Julia could answer them a bit later. So the question that we have is, can you import from another journey mapping tool? Yes, like Miro.
Well, you can import the documents from tool if it has this table structure. So I would say, yes, you can do this by copying and pasting the content like I just showed. So not the specific type of file, not to Google Sheets, but by just pasting the the map in bulk to UXPressia.
Thank you, Julia.